Welcome to the Heart-Centered Entrepreneur Podcast. I want you to be rich. Yes, I want abundant financial success for your business. But I don't just care about your business making money. I care about you too. I want you to be rich in happiness, in the impact you make, in your relationships, and in how you give back. I'm Anna. I built my six-figure business as a side hustle while I was pregnant with my daughter in 2016. Now I've helped dozens of women do the same. I'm here to help you build a profitable, heart-centered, fully booked business with the latest tips on sales and visibility, with proven mindset hacks, and sneak peeks behind the scenes with what's working right now in the online space and in my business. Ready to make more money with heart? Let's go. I am currently in the middle of making one of the biggest changes I've ever made in the decade of my business. Oh my goodness. I'm excited to tell you about what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, what inspired this change. And for me, right, I'm a big fan of keeping things simple and not burning your business down and being okay with your business being boring and profitable. But I have felt this change brewing for about 2 years. And then finally, I realized it was time. And this summer, I've been working behind the scenes to make some of these changes. So I'm so excited to tell you about it and release some of these shifts that I feel like are happening for me personally. I'm also going through a lot of personal things that I'll probably share next year once it's a little more distant. But it's just so interesting how I think sometimes when we go through personal shifts, about 6 months ago, I was going through some personal stuff, and I feel like often that will catalyze some business shifts in the best way. So what I want to say to you, if you're in the middle of going through a hard personal season and you're feeling, I'm a big fan of when we're going through something hard personally, whether it's smaller picture, like we're PMSing or, something hard or something big. When we're experiencing the rush of emotion, I don't think it's the best time to necessarily execute on those changes, but I think it's a great time to take in data. I love being on my cycle because I feel I'm more sensitive. And I think it's good as women when we're extra sensitive, right? Again, it's just one data point. We want to see how we feel over time. But I was really getting the nudge for quite some time that I needed to make some shifts in my business, really for a year, that I kind of felt that, and I really paid attention to those cues and then felt like I was ready to make the shifts. So if you are in the middle of wanting to make some shifts, I think this is going to be a super relevant episode for you. Okay, so I'll come out with it. I have run my mastermind for over 12 rounds and 6 years, and I'm making over my mastermind. Okay. My mastermind is the heartbeat of my business. It's really my private coaching. Those 12 girls get my support, my love, my attention. I am there for them. They can literally post every day in Slack and I will reply with either 4 sentences or 4 paragraphs, depending on what they need. I am reviewing their Google Docs. I am helping them launch. I am helping them manage client crises type situation. Anything they need, I'm there for them. And it's the heartbeat of my business. And when I first started my business, I called that program Sell with Heart. And that is what it has been. And it's just been, I'm grateful for it. It's been such a treasured part of my business and heart, and I'm grateful for it. But in this next era, I'm making some shifts, and I'm going to tell you why. I am going to, call it the 3-day entrepreneur mastermind. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. You may have noticed that for the last probably 2 years or so, maybe more, maybe it's been 3 years, I've been talking about the 3-day work week. And I've really been playing with that message and playing with that externally, but also internally with my clients, really encouraging them to go after the 3-day work week. I used to say oh, I'll help you create any work week of your dreams. And that's true, right? When I was pregnant and breastfeeding, I wanted to work every day of the week, just a little bit each day. I didn't want to consolidate my work, right? But I find that for most clients, 80% of my clients, the reason I wanted to start telling them, you don't even think that you are capable of a 3-day work week or deserving of or worthy of, but that is what you deserve, is working 3 days out of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then working 3 weeks out of the month. So taking the last week of the month off is what I do, whether that's for a business project, a personal project, a vacation, I don't care. Blocking your calendar, making space, making margin, right? You guys have heard me talk about how life-changing creating a freedom fund was for my business, right? Creating $20,000 in the bank in a separate bank that was just my cushion. I can't control life, but what I can control is having the resources for whatever life brings. That was huge and monumental. That's what I wrote my book on. The second shift that really forever changed my life was really doing a 3-day work week, creating abundance of time, creating margins of time so that if life, no problem. I have my Monday, I have my Friday. If a kid gets sick in the middle of the week, I can bump my work to another day, right? Like creating that margin. And I didn't even know that that was possible for me. Same thing with blocking off that week every month has just been a game changer in my ability to feel happy, peaceful, free. And I think sometimes we need an expander to show us what's possible. And so that's where I really started owning, like, you really need to be working. I started telling women, okay, you really need to make at least 6 figures in your business if you are going to be happy and you're going to provide for your family. Like I just had too many women being like, it's okay, I can do 2K a month, 3K a month. But then they were frustrated and burning out and quitting, right? It's really not until you are making consistent 8K, 10K months that you're like, okay, this is worth the work. A business is work, but it's worth it if you're making 10K, 20K a month, right? Same thing with the freedom, right? If you're working 7 days a week, you're going to burn out on that, just like you would if you were working 7 days a week in your day job. And so I really started being bolder, telling my clients, no, really, it's a 3-day work week that you want, trust me, or at least try it on for size. And so I really started trying to bully my clients and community into this 3-day work week. And it just started resonating with my clients. So I started bringing it out into my marketing a little bit more. And I just started getting this feeling of, ooh, I think I need to shift my mastermind this way. Right? We're working on that, but we weren't calling it that. Obviously, we're still working on sales, blah, blah, blah. But it really felt like talking about that freedom became the primary conversation and decision maker when we talk about visibility in sales and course creation and team and everything else, right? So I named it 3-Day Entrepreneur Mastermind, 6-Figure Cash Flow while staying free and heart-centered. And I really am so excited for this. So that's shift number 1 that I started doing, that I made. And I really feel like a lot of my clients, you might be noticing if you've had a program for a long time, maybe 5 years or more, you might start noticing, oh, this is the thing that I'm seeing themes and patterns and what these people actually want and need, right? Even if they don't think they need it or want it, this is what I'm seeing that they want or need, and really going forward with that. Okay, a few other shifts that I'm making, and then I'm going to make some recommendations for shifts you might want to be considering in your marketing in 2025, is I'm changing when I launch it. I had started it in July and in January, just because it felt like start of the year, halfway through the year, right? I also really organize my mastermind in quarters. We do quarterly planning. So at the top of every, quarter, we do print out our calendars, we're mapping our conversion events, all of that, our launches. And so it just made sense. But I was really getting a lot of feedback from my ideal client, who is often a busy woman. And often women, even though we're making strides on smashing the patriarchy, we have more to smash, right? And women still carry a lot of burden around the holidays. Right? The thing is like, I was going on Instagram the other day and saying like, I really love my summers, but it's also because I fought for my freedom. And many women I find don't enjoy the holidays or summers because it's this expectation that it should be such a free time, but often it's the least free time for women because we're carrying more of that emotional burden, prepping for the holidays, watching kids over summer break, whatever it is, right? And I was really finding for my ideal client, it was not an ideal time to start. And so that is also why I'm changing the start times of my mastermind to October and April. And I'm feeling really good, really aligned, really excited about that. Okay. Also, I wrote down like 4 little things, maybe I'll put in a 5th, that I really feel like in 2025, I'm paying more attention to when it comes to marketing in my business, that I've just been kicking like little notes on. And I am thinking it might be helpful for you if you're finding that maybe your programs aren't selling as good as they used to, or maybe you went away for a little while and you're reemerging in the online space. These are things that I've been telling my clients if they've been away and they're coming back, or they feel like their programs need zhuzhing up. Number one and number two are related. And I think this is a real big call to simplify our programs and simplify our marketing. I've been saying this for 10 years, but I think I'm about to get a lot more passionate about this because it was always important to keep our programs and marketing simple for us. But now I'm really seeing how important it is to keep our programs and marketing simple for our potential clients, right? And you overcomplicating your marketing or your programs affects your client results, and it also affects your cash flow and clients being willing to sign with you. And I say this with love because I'm an ENFP. I'm an Enneagram 7. Like, I am a passionate woman. I have like 17 hobbies going on at once. Like, I get it. I get it. And in a world too where more people are identifying with ADHD and really feeling that the scatterness of life and the overwhelm and the political climate and life is just becoming busier and fuller and more overwhelming. And my prediction is that it's not going to slow down, right? I think the world is just going to keep feeling more AI, more fast, more. And so, in that, I think it's just crucial. I think businesses that don't simplify will not last. Fortunately, I have been preaching this for a long time. I've been seeing the need for simplicity. What does simplicity mean? Having just a few offers, right? When you're selling things, selling one thing at a time. When you're promoting a freebie, having one freebie at a time, that your freebie is not 17 pages. My first freebie, I think, was like 30 something pages, right? Like, it really is, make it or break it for businesses right now when it comes to simplifying. And our clients and our potential clients may not be able to tell us this, directly, but I think you're going to see this and people aren't going to be buying from you because they're overwhelmed with your business or brand. And maybe you are too. And again, simplifying your business and your marketing is actually beneficial for you too. It's beneficial for you too. And so I am reorganizing on the back end how I am organizing, like in my mastermind. I still am including the 12-week Sell with Heart sales curriculum, but I'm pulling it out as a separate course, just like Get and Coach is a separate course that my mastermind clients get, because I'm just realizing that I do believe that curriculum is super important, but letting women go through it at their pace. It's a 3-month curriculum. Right. And so I was almost forcing all my clients to go through it for the first 3 months of the mastermind. And I think if you have a lower level course, like Get and Coach that I have, it's super important to drip it out. But I think when you have higher level women that are already busy, that are already doing a lot in their business, it's nice for them to be able to elect when they're consuming content. And so I've just been reworking and simplifying the experience of my mastermind on the inside. And I'm super excited about that. And I think it is important that we look at, of our programs. And the good thing is, in many ways, it was already simple, but are we simplifying? I remember one of my first courses, Visible Impact. It was not simple when I made that one. And so an example that I can say in case you are like, oh my God, mine isn't simple, what should you do? What I really did is I went back to Visible Impact and I really looked at like, what is the most essential things and what can I pull out and call a bonus? And so I really stripped out probably like 60% of the course and I just turned Visible Impact into like 6 simple steps. And then on visibility and content marketing, and then everything else I put in the bonus resource folder. And I get so many comments from clients that still go back to that course, because you get that if you're a private client of mine or a mastermind client, how much they love it because of how simple it is as far as like mastering content marketing, getting visible on Instagram, that it's so simplified. And so it definitely is possible for you to go back in and simplify your courses. I think it's so important to do so that our clients are getting results. Okay, other side of that is also simplifying our marketing. Oh my goodness, this is so important. This is so important. Okay, you can fry this fish a few ways. Number one, like I said, making sure you're just marketing one thing at a time. If you're launching a course, if you're talking about a freebie, if you're launching your book, really only talking about that for 2 to 4 whole weeks. Really simple, because the online space is so busy, the online space is so noisy that really we need to talk about things for a long time for people to fully latch onto it, right? I think you need to rewind and listen to that again. Really simplifying your marketing. It's also going to feel better for you. It might feel a little bit boring, but then you really know what you're pointing people to, what you're doing. Simplifying your marketing is so important. The other thing, I was going to say one more thing on that. Simplifying. Okay, this is part of the reason why I decided to rename my mastermind too, because I felt like Sell with Heart was talking more to the method of what I do behind the scenes and less to the results, right? So, if you've been a client of mine, you've heard me talk about this. It's so important not to market to the method of what we do, right? Like a health coach, as they're helping someone get healthier, lose weight, get more energy, they're helping them with their meal planning, they're helping them with their exercise plan. But it's so important that that coach is marketing to, I'm going to give you more energy. I'm going to help you lose weight, like the result, right? And Sell with Heart, I really help women with sales and feeling comfortable and confident selling and losing the ick around receiving money, right? We do a lot of money mindset work. We do a lot of hiring team, but that stuff can be hard and uncomfortable. All of that is what helps you work a 3-day work week. When you get more potent at selling, when you have systems for selling, right? When you have team members. But I was realizing that that messaging needed to go more behind the scenes. And I'll talk more about like my 3-tier method for organizing my messaging and my brand keywords. But selling was in the top tier of my brand keywords. And I realized in 2025, it needs to be bumped down to tier 2. Still going to talk about it, but I'm realizing I need to talk about more the result, the 3-day work week that comes from getting good at selling in my marketing more. I think because our audience is so overwhelmed, right? We get overwhelmed with the work that we're going to have to do after working with a coach. And so I think it's so important that if someone's interested in working with us, we mostly focus on the result they want. Do you want 6 figures? Do you want a 3-day work week? Great. And then on the side, be like, are you willing to work on sales? Are you willing to hire a team? Are you willing to launch a course? Great. But that needs to be secondary and not primary, because when someone's just thinking about booking a sales call with us, we want to keep it simple. And I think there was more tolerance for this in the online space when things weren't as noisy, when people weren't as overwhelmed. But I just think we need to get even better and more potent with our marketing. The cool thing about heart-centered entrepreneurs is when you're good at what you do, when you have happy clients, you can kind of get away with either no marketing and just having referrals, or you can kind of get away with shitty marketing. It's why I really sign clients really quickly, even as a life coach, before I was good at marketing at all, when I was actually really bad at selling, because I was a good coach. And so eventually people found me, worked with me, and loved my work, right? But if you really want to make a lot of money quicker, you have to get better at selling. You have to get better at marketing, so that your calls are converting better, so that you're getting more leads faster, so that you can sell out your group programs, right? It's just about volume. And I really find that there's getting less and less leeway in the online space as far as this. And if you want to make more money faster, you have to get better at sales and marketing, and you have to make your marketing sexier. So this is my approach to that too. Okay. 2 more things just that I've been kind of noticing in general in 2025 of notes to self that I've been making is getting quieter during my coaching, whether it's during a sales call, whether it's during an actual client session. I feel like I'm half strategist. I love giving business advice and tips and sharing my story and sharing what works. But I also love to coach. That's what I was trained in. It's what really I did my master's work in. Even when I got my therapy stuff, I was reading all these books on coaching theory and solution focused therapy, which is basically a coaching form. And I love coaching. I love helping clients get their own answers. I love pointing them to their truth, their intuition, helping them clear blocks, helping them find their own answers. But I find that depending on the client, I lean into what they need more. Some clients might need more strategy. Some clients might need more coaching. I'm finding that most women right now need coaching. As the world gets noisier, more overwhelming, more challenging, we're going to have more and more trouble with listening to ourselves. As you guys heard the episode I did on AI and talking about the importance of supplementing AI with our own journaling without a robot talking to us, right? As the world gets more noisy, our job as coaches is to be helping our clients have the world be quieter. That goes back to the simplifying our programs, right? And so I really have been noticing my shift in sales of being quieter, like shutting up, listening, which is always important in coaching, in sales, right? You've heard me in any of my sales masterclasses talk about the importance of listening as the number one thing you can do to close sales, right? But I just think this is more and more important. And I've been noticing for myself in my client sessions and in my sales, being quieter, listening, coaching more, strategizing less. And then when I do strategize, I'm doing it more through sharing my story and my experience. Again, I think our brains are so tired. Our brains love story. So that's a great way that we learn is through story. Okay, finally, really being mindful of seasons. And I mentioned this a little bit when I talked about why I'm switching my mastermind timing, but I really feel like because people are more overwhelmed and it's more of a challenging time, people are getting even more extreme in their seasonality, right? Maybe unplugging extra during the summer because they're so exhausted, right? Maybe whatever it looks like, but really looking at the seasonality of your business, and your seasonality of your business might be different than mine. I have some clients that are accountants. Obviously, they have tax seasons, right? But really looking at seasonality and just being so mindful of our clients and focusing our marketing around that. Okay. That's it. Those are my truth bombs. I would love to hear from you if you are noticing any of this also in your business, and if you are feeling a call to simplify in your programs, in your marketing, renaming things. Again, I wouldn't rename or rejudge your programs lightly, but it might be time. It might be time. It's 2025, right? It might be time to make some shifts. And I would love to hear what shifts are brewing for you. If you are interested in joining the mastermind for the waitlist for the next round of the mastermind, I'm going to include a link. I am doing something I've never done before, which is a better special for the waitlisters. And so if you're at all interested in the mastermind, I highly encourage you to join the waitlist because you'll be getting a special offer for joining this next round of the mastermind. So make sure that you join. Sending you a big hug. Thanks for hanging out today. Please hit that subscribe button so you can make sure to stay updated anytime a new episode drops. And I would love for you to join me in my free Facebook community. It's called The Heart-Centered Entrepreneur. We discuss the podcast episodes. I regularly go live and do free trainings. And you may even meet your newest biz bestie. So you can join at heartcenteredcommunity.com. It's absolutely free, and I cannot wait to see you in there.